Our next topic in physical geography is internal earth-forming processes. Internal earth-forming processes are also referred to as endogenic or endogenetic processes, and these are processes which occur and operate inside the earth as a result of tectonic forces. These processes result into the formation of landforms in the Earth's surface. However, the term landforms is used to refer to the natural physical features of the land which tend to give the Earth's surface its characteristic appearance, that is, its form and shape. Also, we have another term we have used, that is tectonic forces. These are strong forces which originate and operate in the interior of the earth. However, we have major internal earth-forming processes which include folding, faulting, and volcanicity. The opposite of internal earth-forming processes is external earth-forming or exogenic processes. These are the processes which occur on the surface of the earth as a result of forces that are on the surface of the earth. However, these are responsible for the sculpturing and shaping of the landscape. These include weathering, mass wasting, mass movement, glaciation, erosion, transportation, and deposition. Connected to the internal earth-forming processes, we have earth movements, and earth movement refers to the displacement of crust rocks as a result of tectonic forces that originate and operate in the interior of the earth. We have two types of earth movements. One, we have horizontal earth movement, also known as lateral or orogenic movement. And secondly, we have vertical earth movement, also known as epirogenic or epirogenetic movement. Now let us focus on the horizontal or lateral earth movements. These are the movements which tend to operate along horizontal plane within the crust rocks, and they cause the crust rocks to stretch, shorten, shear, or slip. These lateral earth movements include: one, we have tensional forces, and these are the forces which move horizontally away from each other, and they tend to cause the crust rocks to stretch. Secondly, we have compressional forces, and these also move in a horizontal manner but towards each other and cause the crust rocks to fold. Finally, we have number 3, shearing or tearing forces, and these move horizontally in opposite directions but past each other. Therefore, they make the crust rocks to slip horizontally past each other. The tensional forces can be presented in the sketch in this slide. In Roman 1, you can see the crust rocks being acted upon by the tension forces, and then after the being acted upon, you can see the crust rocks have stretched. In this sketch, we have compressional forces acting on crust rocks, and you can see that the crust rocks have been made to fold. In this sketch, you can see we have the shearing forces acting on crust rocks, hence making them to move past each other. The second kind of earth movement is the vertical earth movement. And as we have said earlier, Vertical earth movements are also known as epirogenetic or eperogenic earth movements. And these are the movements which tend to operate from the interior of the earth towards the surface of the earth, or they can operate from the surface of the earth towards the interior of the earth. And these ones, they cause upwarping, downwarping, uplifting, sinking, and tilting of the crust rocks. In this diagram, you can see upwarping and downwarping of the crust rocks, respectively. Here we have lifting and tilting happening at the same time on the Earth's surface. Here you can see uplifting, like in the case of formation of block mountains. And in the second diagram, we have sinking, like in the formation of rift valleys. Next, we have a look at the causes of earth movements. And we have four major causes. The first one is the movement of magma within the Earth's crust. Second, we have gravitative pressure. Third, we have convectional currents within the mantle. And fourth, we have isostatic adjustment. We start with the first cause of earth movement. That is the movement of magma within the Earth's crust. In this case, when magma intrudes the crust rocks through the lines of weaknesses, such as cracks, it occupies space within those rocks. As a result, the magma displaces the crust rocks, which then moves away horizontally or vertically. The concept of movement of magma within the Earth's crust can be presented in this diagram, such that in the head you see the magma has displaced the crust rocks, resulting to uplifting of the land. The second cause of earth movement is gravitative pressure, and in this case, when large quantities of magma escape to the Earth's surface, there is a big void or a big hole that is created below the Earth's crust. The force of gravity then acts on the crust rocks, pushing them inwards, such that they occupy the void which was initially left. In this manner, the rocks move downwards, causing sinking of the land. This phenomenon of gravitative pressure can be presented using the sketch in this slide. The third cause of earth movements is the convectional currents within the mantle. In this case, within the molten rocks of the mantle, we have convectional currents which circulate in a cyclical manner. As these currents pass below the crust rocks, they exert a frictional drag on them, causing them to move horizontally in the same direction as that one of the currents. When the currents converge and sink into the mantle, the crust above is pulled downwards, hence resulting into the vertical earth movements of the crust. The movement of convectional currents can be seen in this schematic diagram. You can see the currents are circulating in a cyclic manner in the mantle, and where they converge, there is sinking, as shown on the surface of the earth in the diagram. Finally, we have isostatic adjustment as a major cause of earth movements. And in this case, the weight of the soil layer tend to be in a state of balance known as isostasy with sigma, Remember, SIO and SIMA are major components of the crustal rocks. Therefore, when erosion occurs on the SIO, also known as the continental mass, the continents become thinner and lighter. The reduced weight causes the SIO or the continental mass to rise. Also, the materials which have been eroded from the SIO are transported by agents of erosion and deposited on the lowland regions or on the seabeds. This, in return, results into sinking of the SIMA into the mantle since it becomes heavier. The sinking tends to disrupt the balance, causing the continental masses to rise since they now become lighter. This sinking of the SIMA is compensated by the vertical rise of the continental SIO crust since it is lighter, so as to maintain the isostatic balance, also known as the isostatic equilibrium. It's good to note that the rising which tends to compensate for the lost weight is known as isostatic recovery. Isostatic adjustment can be presented diagrammatically using these diagrams. In the first diagram, you can see the land masses before erosion. They are in a stable state. We can say that they are in an equilibrium. But after other movements have taken place as a result of isostatic adjustment, or when that balance have been disrupted, you can see the eroded land masses rising, whereas the SIMA is sinking because sediments have been deposited on the seabed, and this result into the vertical earth movement. Now let us focus on the effects of horizontal earth movement on the landscape. The first effect is that they result into tension and compression of the crustal rocks. Secondly, this may result into the process of folding and faulting, which in turn results into the formation of landforms like escarpments, fault blocks, fault mountains, basins, rift valleys, etc. Finally, we have shearing, and this leads to formation of transform faults. We also have effects of vertical earth movement on the landscape, and the first effect is that upwarping leads to development of raised cliffs and raised beaches. 2. Downwarping leads to subsidence, which results into submerged coasts, which in turn results to features like layers and estuaries. Finally, faulting results to formation of rift valleys, escarpment, rift valley lakes, block mountains, tilt blocks, etc. Thank you very much for your time, and if you are new here, please consider subscribing, hit the bell, like, share to your friends so that you can get more video lessons on physical geography.
A rift valley is formed when compressional forces cause the Earth's crust to fracture, resulting in cracks that form geographic landscape features. These forces are generated when the lithospheric plates move towards each other, pushing against one another and causing the crust to buckle and bend. This pressure forces the surrounding area to sink or rise, creating a valley with a valley floor that drops lower than what surrounds it. In turn, the rift valley acts as a basin fill, collecting sedimentary material from rivers or other sources. As time passes, the crust breaks apart further and tears, leading to the formation of mountain ranges, such as the Alps or the Sierras. Eventually, a lake or sea may fill the valley, leading to a new geographical feature. Don't forget to subscribe to GeoQuizGames.com and to show your support by liking our publications. A rift valley is formed when compressional forces cause the Earth's crust to fracture, resulting in cracks that form geographic landscape features. These forces are generated when the lithospheric plates move towards each other, pushing against one another and causing the crust to buckle and bend. This pressure forces the surrounding area to sink or rise, creating a valley with a valley floor that drops lower than what surrounds it. In turn, the rift valley acts as a basin fill, collecting sedimentary material from rivers or other sources. As time passes, the crust breaks apart further and tears, leading to the formation of mountain ranges, such as the Alps or the Sierras. Eventually, a lake or sea may fill the valley, leading to a new geographical feature. Don't forget to subscribe to GeoQuizGames.com and to show your support by liking our publications.